as we are preparing to go live on these platforms. Got it, got it. I have missed you all so much. I have definitely missed this platform. It's been a couple weeks, 2 weeks since I have gotten on here. How are you? How have you been? What's going on? Say hey as you're jumping on. Hello, hello. You guys ever feel like there's times in your life where there's so much going on that it's like a blur? Like the last 2 weeks have felt like such a blur. Like so much has happened, a lot of packing and unpacking and vacationing and birthdays and celebrating and purging and just readjusting. So many wonderful things have happened the last 2 weeks. Hence why I was not here last week. But I tell you what, it is all good stuff, and definitely missed being on here with you all. So as you're coming on, say hello. Hello as you're coming on. Good morning. We are talking about fear, conquering fear today. So you're in the right place. If you are feeling like you're just over being in a state of fear, like fear just like riddles through your body and it stops you from pursuing or doing the things that you want to do in life, getting up to the plate and actually doing the things that you want to do, however small or big they may be. If you are just to a point where you're like, I want to be like over that. I don't want to suffer from that or be stopped or stuck by fear. Like, stay here because I got you. I was thinking about this topic last night and just sitting, as you know, I channel. I was sitting and I was sourcing the folks that will be here today, and you that are watching that are needing this information, needing this transformational mindset shift so you can start living that bigger and better life that you came here to do. And as I was sitting here thinking about it, I just thought of all my loved ones. I thought about just friends and family, and of course that's you. My heart is just like swelled with wanting to just go to the screen and just hug you all now and empower you to lead with courage and bravery into the things that you want to do. I thought about everyone that I have crossed paths with. I thought about myself in history of time. I thought about all the thousands of clients. I thought about every single person that I know, and we're all in this together. We all know what fear looks and feels like, right? We all deal with fear on so many different levels in life. Am I right? Like it's just a part of us, but how do we not let that stop us, right? So can we all connect as like family right now? I mean, we're all sort of related anyway, right? Have you ever done ancestry searching? You all figure out we all kind of come from the same lines. So we're all sort of family. Let's just dive in and just be open and vulnerable and connect with one another as we break through this. Yeah. So come on in, listen to this. The Hypno Happy Hour, it isn't an hour long. This will be about 20-25 minutes, but one of the most powerful 25 minutes of your life. This is geared to transforming the neural pathways in your mind, the programming of your mind, so you can show up as that person that you want to be and you get to be in life. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about here, and I'm going to be going for multiple screens here, so I kind of look like that sprinkler effect. But as I'm going through here, I first want to, let's just hook on to, did you know that you were only born with 2 fears? 2 fears. I remember the first time I heard that, it just shook me to my core, because I realized I had tens of thousands of fears. And I was wondering which ones are real? How did I even pick these up? Am I right? So that's what shook me to my core is when I first heard that and came to that understanding that you and I, we were only born with two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noise. That's it. Those are like the two universal fears that I could say that are factual fears that we will all deal with, that are truths of the universe, right? The other fears, you may be like me thinking, what in the world? How? I have dozens and dozens and dozens of fears that I probably deal with on a weekly basis. Like, how is that happening? How is that happening? Here is where I talk about they're programs that we pick up from experiences in life, firsthand experiences or experiences of others that we witness, right? There are things that even we watch on the telly as a child. There are things that, we're exposed to. There are things we hear through different media sorts, through just friend communication. Someone tells us about their experience and then we inherit that fear. There's so many different ways that these fears that you're suffering with right now, that I have suffered with and still know that some are there, that those aren't mine. Those aren't real. They're not what I need to continue on into my story. They're just things that I have picked up, beliefs that I have picked up along my way. And my friend, that's very good, because knowing that, we can get rid of those. We can start hacking away those fears and embark and do the things that we really, really want to do, right? So I hope that like you hear that and let that, like, breathe that into your body. Let that sink in, that, just as fast as those fears could come in, they could release. They could be freed from my being, just like that. Another thing that I want to clearly remember, this is HypnoCoaching. So as you're listening to me right now, this is transforming your mindset. This is input, output. Something very, very important that I want to tell you right now is that there's two different fears. Okay, there's a gut fear and then there's a head fear. Very different. Do you want to clear that up? Do you want to have a clear understanding about what's fear coming from, like the feeling, the gut, versus a fear that is just programmed in my head? Do you want to like know and be so confident in the two? Please say yes. Like, yes, yes, yes. Right? There's a gut fear that is, it's a form of protection. It's a feeling. Let me give you an example of this. Before I do that, something's coming to me right now. Remember, again, I channel. So sometimes Derika is like a squirrel. Something I want to clear up there. You're human. I always say we're part human. If you're able to experience fear, it's not a bad thing. It's a part of you. If you have this mechanism, this ability to have this feeling of fear, know that there's nothing wrong with that. Like, don't ever think you're going to take fear out of your being. There is good in fear. I know that sounds weird, but there is actually a good part of fear, the reason why you have this mechanism, and that's for protection. Okay, so I just want to clearly like cement that in right now. And that's the gut fear that I'm talking about. And then there's the head fear that I just mentioned about all the programs we pick up. And I'll get into examples of that. But the gut fear is like, feel it with me. You're walking along and just imagine this. You're walking in a field somewhere, and then you notice a few feet ahead of you, there's this drop off. There's this cliff. You feel that? That's gut fear. That came from a feeling. You seen the cliff and you felt it. Am I right? That was not up here. That was all, I can't see, I'm rubbing my belly. That was the gut feeling, the solar plexus, the feeling that came up. That was your sophisticated sense, guidance system saying, hey, protect yourself, back up, let's get safe, right? That's the beep, 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 beep. Beautiful radar that you have. That's the natural feeling. All right, that's natural fear. Now, there is the head fear. Come on in. I know I'm being very scientific right now. I'm getting a little logical, but you have to hear this, hear this. It is, think about this. When you're about to go present at a meeting or give a presentation or go ask that girl or guy out for a date or get on a live or, do something new, what happened? Their fear came in, but where was it? That's a head fear. That's a head fear. For example, I remember that I was challenged for the very first time to get on and do a live. Last year, I'd never done a live before, and it was a stretch. It was a challenge for me to come on and do these. And I was like, this fear just like went through my body. I thought at that time it was just like this fear. And I realized it was just all the thoughts in my head because I know that I can't die by going on live. There's nothing there. Like we're not being, we don't have to protect ourselves from going up and asking for that promotion or that raise or that new position, right? Or most decisions that we make, they're not really fearful. They're not really scary. They're not something that we have to protect ourselves from. It's all in the head. It's all thoughts about what could happen if we do it. Fear just resides in the head. Most of the stuff is just the fear it's not real. False evidence appearing real is the acronym if you break down fear. False evidence appearing real. It's false. All of it was it's fake. These are just thoughts going off from programs that we have in there. But I'm not belittling this, my friends. Like I know how that really feels. And unfortunately, what happens is that we never get on to do the lives. We never get on to pursue that passion that we want or that relationship that we want or, the change in our home, in our car, in our body, in our love life, in our relationships, in anything that we want. Most of the time, because we're stopped by the program, the head fears. And then we stay in this little bubble of comfort, which is really not even comfortable. Am I right? Ooh. And that's where I want to speak from today, because when I'm talking about this conquering fear, let's conquer fear. I feel you. My heart is swelling for you right now. I'm thinking of all my loved ones that are sitting there in their rooms or in their houses somewhere and just taking their goals to their graves. And that is not okay. Like it's not okay for us to be stopped by fake stuff, fake fears. They're not real. Nothing. If you want that thing, whatever you're thinking about right now, you want to start your own business, you want a soulmate, you want to have a child, you want to live in a better home, you want to have a better car, you want to have more adventure, you want to do these things. Let's sit. Can I empower you for a moment? Can you just come with me? I promise you right now that if you go past that fear, if you do not let it stop you, if you do it anyway, if you just do the darn thing anyway, you will win every single time. That is my promise to you. If you surpass the head fear, you say, I hear you, but I'm not going to allow you to stop me, you will win. You will get it. You will get it. You will get it every single time. No fail. Every single thing that I have in my life, or I've coached clients, thousands of clients in my life, every single thing that they've had fear before going up to it. I had fear of going for an interview at a McDonald's. I remember how scared I was going to interview at a fast food restaurant. I remember how scared I was, going projects in school. I remember how afraid I was to go for this. I wanted to work in the corporate world at that time. That was my goal. I was so afraid of a panel interview. I was so afraid of committing to a relationship. I was afraid of that. I was afraid of marrying my husband. I was afraid of becoming pregnant. I was afraid to have a child. I was afraid to buy a house again and again and again. I was afraid to buy a car. I was afraid, like I'm talking about super scared of retiring, like leaving the corporate world. I was so afraid of that. I was so afraid to start my own business. Every single thing that I have around me, I had first conquered. I had to face my Goliath and then conquer it. And that's what I'm telling you right here, is that fear is normal. There's a gut fear that's here to protect you. But most of it, 98% of the time, you are not walking by a cliff or a tiger. You are walking in life. And out here, there is nothing to be afraid of. There's not. You're not walking in the middle of traffic every day of your life. Like hopefully you're not ever doing that. There is not, 98% of the fear that comes to your body is here to be conquered. Yeah? Is here to be conquered. Not to back up for your safety. No. Not at all. Maybe if we lived in dinosaur age, I don't even know if I can say that because I wasn't around then. So I don't even know what the stats are for that. But I know living in today's age now that you get to do this. Can you feel that? Can I get some hearts? Can I get some snaps? Like, come on, every single thing. I promise you, what do you want? What are you afraid of right now? Put it in the comment. Like, what are you afraid of doing right now? Be vulnerable, be open. Whether you write it here, whether you write it on your paper, write it down. Write it down. That is the first step of rewiring your mind, is becoming aware of those programmed fears that you are suffering from right now. The world needs you. We all need you to stand up and be that voice, be that love, sprinkle your wisdom, sprinkle whatever it is that you want to do around. We all need you to do that. It's time for you to live your best life. Go after those goals and dreams. Conquer those past patterns. They're no longer yours to hold on to continue to relive over and over. Are you ready? I'm so ready. I'm ready to just hop into the hypnosis right now. Are you ready? Let me clear up something really quickly that's coming to me. That is, there's fear and there's nervousness. These are two different things. A lot of those fears I mentioned, like going for any accomplishment in my life, they weren't really fears. Just at the time, Derika thought they were. It was just nervous. It was just being uncomfortable. Right? So sometimes I want you to think, like some of us, we may be wrapping the whole feeling of excitement even and nervousness or discomfort, and we package it all up and put it in the fear, which makes it just too big and ugly. A lot of times it's just that we're too nervous to do something. Think about that. And there's going to be something that I'm going to tell you right now. Some of you may be, hey, Rose, I love it. There is some of us that are thinking this nervousness. If we get nervous, it's that like gut. I have to protect myself and back up, which is not true. I want to be very, very clear. Can I get clear? Can I be very, very clear? There's times that you're going to be very nervous to do something, like stand up for a presentation, go after a thing you want, ask for that date, do this new project, start your own passion project or business, whatever. There's going to be things that you're nervous about, right? But it's not fearful. The nervousness Hear me out. The nervousness is more like that roller coaster feeling. It's sort of like a butterfly feeling in your stomach. Maybe you get clammy. Sometimes I get sweaty. That is not fear. That nervousness, that feeling, tune into that feeling. That's actually your sign that you should do it. Now I said, do it anyway. If you are nervous about something, that is actually your radar system saying, there's newness over there. There's growth over there. Let's be super heightened and super focused as we're stepping into this new place, this foreign territory I've never been. Let's do it, right? That's what your radar system is actually, your intuition is actually telling you is to do it. But a lot of people think that nervous feeling means, oh, I got a bad feeling. I shouldn't do this. And they turn away and they go away. It's like, no. That actually means just leap, do it. There's a difference between the fear, protection, and then the nervousness, excitement, discomfort. That is actually wanting you to actually there to put pressure on you, to propel you, like slingshot you into actually making that thing happen. Is that clear? Did that come out clear? Do you have a better understanding of like, oh, the gut feeling of fear versus just being nervous? Do you get the difference? There's two. Nervous, excitement, uncomfortable versus like fear. Don't freaking do it. Two very, very different feelings. They're slight. But the more that you practice this, you'll get a greater understanding of the two. All right. 98% of the time, you're going to have that nervous feeling. It's not fear. The nervous feeling means go do it. Go do it. I promise you. It'll work out. It'll work out better than you expected. It'll take you along that next breadcrumb trail closer and closer to the life that you are wanting, to the goal that you want to achieve. I promise. No one said this will be easy. It's not a skip along the rainbow, but there is a pot of gold at the end every time. Right? When I speak about fear, I think of David and Goliath. David and Goliath comes to my mind when I'm coaching with my clients, when I'm even coaching inside of myself. The nervousness that comes into my being, aka the fiery feeling. When that comes up into my being, I picture a Goliath, this big scary thing. That's what it feels like. And then there's David, this small warrior, right? But do you remember that story? Who wins? Who wins? David does. You're David. Every single time that you say, I see you, Goliath, I see you, fear, but I'm going to go anyway. You will conquer that Goliath. You will conquer that fear. And then it's gone. And then David is the winner, right? Every single time. You are the winner every single time. Goliath, no matter how big, no matter how scary, no matter how much butterflies, no matter how clammy you get, no matter how many thoughts you think that this won't work out, I can't do it, I won't make it, everyone's going to laugh at me, I'm a fail, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, blah, 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 blah. Just no matter how big that Goliath is, remember, you are David. You will win. You will conquer that fear every single time if you do not give up. So get up and go for it. Go for it. So we have done a bit of the HypnoCoaching. And what I want to do here is look at time. We're going to spend the last 5 minutes of actually experiencing the power of hypnosis, which is going to get to those head fears. Those head fears of I can't do it. They're all going to laugh at me. What's going to happen? It's not meant for me. I'm not lucky. It's not going to work out. This isn't the right decision. I don't know if I'm making the right decision. Is this for me? I don't get it. I'm not all these things, all that I'm not, right? All those are the programmed fears that we're going to get to. Are you excited for that? Are you excited to finally be over that, over those things so you can go and get up and go do that thing, go make that move that you want to make, go talk to that person you've always wanted to talk to, Go jump on a live if you want to. Right? All those things that you really want to do. You're ready to just go do those things, conquer your Goliath. I am. I am for you. I love you all so much. You watching this, I love you so much. I know you can do this. I want nothing less for you to know truly in your heart and believe that that fear, it only exists in your head. It's not real. It's not real. They're not, these scary thoughts are not here to stop you. They're here to propel you into where you're wanting to go, to stretch you into that bigger, better life and person that you get to be. Okay. All right. Let me see. I think we're good here. You guys ready? So I want you to take a few deep clearing breaths with me here. I'm going to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and sink your hips into the chair or the bed or the floor or the grass, wherever you're at. Sink your body, your back, your legs, your feet. Plant them deep into the ground. Remember, David always conquers Goliath. Goliath only resides in the mind. It is not real. Those things that you may be afraid of, there's many people who are not. And you don't have to be either. You get to rewrite those fears. You get to crush them down to their real size, which is minute, which is nothing. You get to stand in your power as you breathe. I want you to take a deep breath. Knowing that you're right where you're supposed to be. You are safe. You are strong. You are calm. Experience the power of your mind, the power of releasing that programmed fear. Bring up one fear that you want to be free from right now. Think about that one fear that you're ready to be free from. Whatever you're scared of. Do you have it? Just nod your head. Nod your head, yes. That one thing. I want you to bring that thing into your palm, the palm of your hand. Place that object or those words, that image in your hand. Shrink it down to fit into your hand. It could be the fear of speaking up, the fear of relocating or doing something new, or going after something you want. Even the fear of a conversation you know you have to have. Put it in your hand. That image gets so small, it's in your hand. You may feel a slight weight in your hand. You can feel the pressure of that fear inside of your palm. I want you to close your hand. Close your fist, and as you're closing your fist, that fear, remember, it's just an energy, it's just a belief. It isn't real. You are crushing it powerfully, effortlessly. It's becoming smaller and smaller in your hand. You're squeezing your hand so tight, and it's becoming dust particles. It's dissipating, it's dissolving in your hand, and you can feel it as you squeeze your fist so tight. And when you think that you cannot squeeze your fist any tighter, I want you to squeeze it tighter, tighter. Squeeze your fist so tight that fear is just, it's barely nothing in your hand. It is so small. Still squeezing tighter. There is something happening in the palm of your hand right now. That fear is actually transforming. It's transforming into a seed of a wish flower. It has a tiny, tiny, tiny little seed and this tiny little parachute, this white little parachute on top. You know, a tiny wish flower blow. It's one of those tiny little wish flower seeds now inside the palm of your hand, and it's transformed into empowerment. That fear now is bravery, is courage, it's excitement to go do it now. It is now powering you up to go do the thing that you want to do. And I want you to slowly let those fingers open, slowly, slowly, slowly opening your hand. You can feel the weight, you can feel the difference in your hand. As you're opening up, there is that once fear you had that is now encouragement. It is now empowerment. It is now fuel that you need to go do it. You're excited about doing it. I want you to blow that wish flower seed and let it fly away to wherever it needs to go, wherever it needs to plant within your being. At the count of 3, you will blow the seed at 1, 2, 3. And let that smile come to your face. Maybe you put your hand on your heart and you feel that excitement of being free from that fear, realizing it's not even there anymore, that you're excited to go apply for that thing you've always wanted, to go call that person up, to go to that place, to schedule that adventure you've always wanted to. Go do it. So much love. Love you very much. Be David. Be David this week. All right? You will always win. That is a promise. You will always win the fear. So much love, and I will see you next week.